All right, folks, I hope you can hear me. We are just about to get started. I'm waiting for the feed to come through to get logged into the lobby. So if you will wait just a moment for me, I will be right back. Folks, I apologize once again. It looks like I'm having an issue signing on since there was an update to the rules. I'm going to have to sign back in and on my PS5. So please give me a minute, and I'm going to try to log in once again to the lobby. Thanks. Well, here we are again after a hard reboot and a little bit of foul language. We are back at the racetrack at wonderful Fuji in Japan. Welcome to Multi-21's Group 3 100-mile event, where we do many laps around the course at Fuji. And today in our Japanese jam, who do we have? Let's get all the drivers up. Looks like you have Justin in P1. Wow. With a very firm lead. No, Dan has just passed him up. 1.689 ahead of Justin. Justin still has a pretty solid second so far. And Timeless Judicial. Sergio is working his way toward the top two. Now King Racer, Aaron, has just gone up ahead of Justin. Timeless Judicial is still working his way around toward the front straight. Rob Ladder, aka Splatter, in his taxi cab, is about to look for a fare in the middle of the track. And Johnny Mackers is here. Welcome back, Johnny. Good to have you on the track today. So far, we've got 7. And Adam Vine. Is that Adam Vine I see? Oh, man. Where are you, buddy? There you at the top. Good to see you, Adam. Welcome back to the racetrack. Looks a little overcast today. Maybe we have a cold track. This should make things interesting. It looks like Adam is working his way across using the medium tires. He's going to try out a few different compounds before he actually puts in his fast lap. But Adam has gone to the top, which is 56 thousandths ahead of Dan East. And Dan is about half a second to the good of King Racer and Santos, who is about a minute, almost a minute and a quarter to the good of Justin, also known as Kobayashi Maru. Just too cool. Everybody today is from the UK. You know, Timeless Judicial and King Racer both hail from Brazil. Both live in the UK now. And Johnny looks like he's still yet to get on the track. Don't see a time from Johnny. Don't see a time from Rob either. Hey, Johnny. Welcome back. And I know the last couple of weeks I've been calling Rob Platter, and I apologize for that. I went and looked up his name, and I noticed that it was actually Rob Latter. So welcome, Rob. Sorry I got your name wrong. Adam's sporting his Sonic the Hedgehog livery, and it looks like we've just had our last lap. 15 minutes has elapsed. Is there anybody else doing a fast lap? It looks like Dan is done for the evening. King Racer's done. Justin's in the pits. Timeless Judicial has his flashers on, and everybody else is sitting and waiting on the race to start. So, smoke if you got them. You got to get up and take a wee, get up and do that. We got about a minute and a half to 2 minutes before the lights go out and the races are off. Speaking of which, I'm going to go grab a cup of tea, and I'll be right back. All right, the tea break is over. Time to get down to business. All right, let's see how our field has panned out. And it looks like Adam Vine maintained his lead over Dan by almost a third of a second. King Racer comes in third. We'll be on row 2 with Justin. Times Judicial Johnny Mackers will make up row 3, and on row 4 all by himself is going to be Rob. And yes, good luck everyone, just as Dan's telling everybody. Qualifying's finished. I believe Justin is hosting tonight, so yep, Justin's hosting. Thanks for doing that, Justin. And we will be underway in seconds. Race will be 36 laps long. It's going to cover about 100 miles, 101, 102. It's always very close to 100 on Thursday nights or Thursday day if you happen to be where I am. 7 seconds to go. I'm going to close my door so the cat doesn't get in. That's better. Sorry for the excess noise. Let's go spectating. Here we go. All right, and they're off. And we got Dan just picked up the lead from Adam very quickly. Adam must have got off to a bit of a slow start. Adam's trying to get the inside, gives a little bit of a bump. Doesn't quite send him all the way off. But he just gives him a little kiss there on the rear. That didn't sound right. And here comes Dan trying to find a way in. Can't quite do it. Sticks on his bumper nice and tight. We got Justin in the back. In third position, we got King and Timeless, the two Timeless teammates. Side by side, King Racer gets the best angle so far, but Judicial gets the inside. But just can't make the move on him. He's trying to find a way to wiggle around outside. It's not quite there yet. What do we got going on up front here? And Viney has just taken a back seat to Dan. But they are neck and neck. Side by side they come in to the tight righty. Now, big swooping right going into a 90-degree, big swooping left to a 90-degree left, and then a big tight right-hander onto the front straight. And Dan gets that Toyota through the corners nice and tidy. And sets Adam back by just about 9/10 of a second and falling. Adam is trying like the Dickens to get into his slipstream. Now he's back by a second, and that is not going to happen now. So Dan's all by himself in the lead by a good second. We got King Racer trying to find a way in on Justin. And King and Johnny Mackers now are in a tussle for fourth place. As they approach the big sweeping right-hander, everybody gets in a straight line, so it's not to get into a bump fest with any of the other drivers. It is tight here in the middle. P5 going up to P3. Everybody's in a nice, tight little pack. At the front, we've got pretty good separation between Adam and Dan, so let's focus on P3 right now, where King Racer has got the advantage, but Justin is working his way toward the bumper of that Toyota. And looks like Justin's in the Ferrari today, as he has been every week this season. Johnny gives him a bump, backs out, tries not to ruin Justin's race, and ends up taking himself off the track. Gets his focus back, stabilizes the car, and now he's back on the track, pointed in the right direction, but that gives Splatter P5. And with all that, it's put Justin back just a little bit. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Gr3, who was following very closely at the time. So now the real race is for P4. And Splatter's working his way onto the right side, gets the inside track in the first turn, and takes over 4th position. Justin gets off in the grass and loses 5th position to Johnny Mackers, who's now right on Splatter's wing. Splatter goes wide. Johnny tries to take the outside, nothing doing. And Splatter around the big sweeper. Keeps 4th position. Trying to make space, but Johnny gets the inside and gets a great exit off of that turn. Gets him even closer, within 2 tenths. Now he's right on his bumper. Trying to take the outside into the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Very tough place to pass. The track narrows tremendously there, and it's a very tight turn. So getting into the wide part of the track, now onto the big right-hander. Johnny is trying to find a way around that taxi cab. And Splatter goes off. Johnny follows him, not quite all the way. So both of them get into pretty bad shape, and then wind up losing a lot of time getting into the front straight off of the hairpin. And Splatter maintains his position, but Johnny's right in his slipstream. So let's see what happens as we get to the front. We watch Splatter with those brakes heating up. Splatter gets a terrific turn into the first hairpin. Johnny Mackers stays right on his 10. Now Johnny's looking for a way to sneak past him, trying to give the okie doke. Didn't quite work, but maybe it worked a little bit, because it looks like he might have gotten in Splatter's head a little bit. And there he goes. Johnny now grabs 4th position as Splatter gets a little bit too wide. So now Johnny's going to get chased by the taxi cab. Splatter goes wide again, loses even more time. As we come into the chicane, and Johnny has just about a second lead here, but that just tightened up a whole lot. Johnny had a little trouble getting to the chicane, but Splatter had an equally difficult time getting to the chicane, possibly more so, which put him over a second behind. Let's get on down to the back here and see how it's going. It looks like Judicial has had an off. So, time is Judicial now. Sergio is not in great stead at the moment. Still early in the race, still a long way to go. Dan has now picked up a commanding 5 seconds on Adam, who was our pole sitter, and is sitting on the fastest lap as well. Apologies for my voice. I just mowed my daughter's lawn today, and I am very allergic to grass and mold. There is an abundance of that in San Antonio today, so please pardon my scratchy, kind of hooty voice. But we continue. So Adam has a 2.3 second lead over King Racer, who has about a 4 second gap between himself and Johnny Mackers, who has spread out the space between himself and Rob, who's now got 1.7, but now Johnny slowed down a little bit here. What's going on with Johnny? Looks like he's lost a couple of heads, and he's bringing Rob right back into the hunt. Rob gets a good exit off of that right-hander. Now coming into this tight hairpin. There are lots of hairpins on this track. Very tricky track. A lot of people love it. Quite a few people don't. But it is what it is. We're here, and here we go. Johnny's picked up a little bit more space. Let's see how Rob's doing in the Beamer. Rob's getting really wide. It's I think the car has a lot of understeer. And Justin's out all by himself in the Ferrari. Coming through the final hairpin into the front straight. Gets a decent exit. Thomas Judicial just working his way toward the back of the pack here. Gets a little bit wide, not too bad. That's not going to hurt you too much. Gets a pretty decent exit. He's put down a 1:43.5, which is a pretty decent lap piece of equipment. Dan, on the other hand, with a 1:39.1, is just scorching it. Picked up another full second on his nearest competition. And Adam on Team Sonic in the Porsche, trying valiantly to get some speedy lap times in there and give Dan a race. King gets a little bit of dust over there on the edge. Go turn my fan on because it is a nice chilly 38 degrees centigrade here. I need to cool off. Let's get inside one of these drivers' cars and let's see what's going on there as we watch Timeless Judicial make every effort to catch up to Justin. And Justin has dropped back to 6. 1 go. And he is inching his way toward Rob, who is now 8.5 seconds behind Johnny. And somebody's went flying. Was that Justin? Who was that? Somebody looked like they almost zipped off the track there. Must have been Justin taking a wide line. Here's Rob. Looking for somebody with his hand out. And Johnny has got himself in a nice pocket with an 8.5 second gap to Splatter and an almost 4 second gap to Sergio. Or excuse me, to Aaron. And guys, I am sorry I keep getting your names mixed up. I see the T-less on there, and I forget who I'm looking at. This is King Racer. In the Red Bull Special Toyota. Adam in the Porsche. Adam liked driving the Gr3 Beetles last season. And he's very good at them. Placed very high last season. Adam is especially good at Gr3 equipment. He likes the faster cars. So Dan stretched his lead to 7.7 seconds. Putting in 139s and 140s all the way through since lap 1. Very consistent, very fast, very strong. Adam just trying to match him lap for lap, which is a tall order. Still, not doing too badly considering his competition. And King Racer's ever so slowly working his way toward the back of Adam's Porsche. Not an easy call when you have this many turns when you're driving that Toyota, and it gets a little snappy in the rear. Johnny Macker's all by himself. In that lovely stripy Porsche. And Rob heats up the brakes as he gets gets through the chicane. Justin keeps that thing pointed and planted, just about loses it there. Keeps it steady. Gets you that tight left-hander. Gonna come around a sweeping right-hander to a very tight right-hander, which really amounts to yet another hairpin on this track. Keeps it together. Gets through. Timeless Judicial, has he gone in? Yes, Timeless has gone in for some soft tires. So he's now 41 seconds behind as the pit numbers catch up. Dan East goes into the pits. Gonna jump off those soft tires after 9 laps. Very long course. So their tires are gonna drop off after 8 or 9 laps. Softs, probably 10, 12, well, probably 12 laps. And Dan comes out on the mediums, comes out in P6. That puts Adam in the lead. Adam starts out on medium tires, so he's got a couple laps to go yet. And that puts King Racer in P2, Johnny Mackers in P3, and Rob Ladder in P4. Justin to P5. Dan on medium tires, working his way back to his favorite position, front pack. Still sporting the fastest lap at 1:39.1. We've got Timeless Judicial. I just came out of his soft tires, as mentioned. Looking to put together some very quick laps. Right now, he's got his in lap and his out lap, so he's just finished boxing and is now on a scorcher. Still not able to make any time on Dan. And he is in the Nissan. In his Timeless Racing Team livery. He always sports for the series. I'm going to have to subscribe to their channel and see what's going on in the Timeless Racing Team. I've never actually seen them race. So Adam's all by himself first, but he's got King Racer within 3 seconds of it. And Adam's tires are about half worn on the right hand side. As you can see in the lower left hand corner, Justin has given us a graphic so you can see the tires and fuel, so I don't have to talk about them so much. And King's still back there trying to bring it to him on the soft tires, but the soft tires have got a couple of laps left on them at best. His fuel's not great. Adam's doing much better on fuel, as you can see. Adam is not using any traction control, as King Racer is not. Let's see if anybody's using the assists. Doesn't seem so. Looks like everybody's being quite brave today. Justin's got his assists on, which I think is probably the smart way to go, as Dan East gets up on his tail. Dan looking for a way around so he can work his way back to the front. And around he goes. Justin's not going to find him too hard for that position. Dan had a tremendous run on Justin's wing. Justin's looking for a way in, maybe. See if he can just get kind of a run on him here going into the first hairpin, but thinks better of it. As Dan gets a really good exit and takes off. The Ferrari's a very maneuverable car, good handling car. The Toyota less so. Snappy in the rear, as I said before, but tremendous pace. And if you know how to drive it, it's far and away one of the best cars in Gr3. To Dan's up into fourth position and pulling away. Johnny's still in the third now with a 5.3 second gap to his nearest rival, 8 seconds to the front. Adam is holding his own as King's tires and fuel are running very low indeed. King is back on the front straight, trying to make that fuel last to the end of this lap. Adam still with plenty of fuel, still with plenty of tires. After 12 laps, he is really managing both very well. Both his fuel economy and his tire wear. So he's keeping it together, staying on the track, keeping respectable speed with 141s for the last 4 laps on somewhat worn mediums. So we see King Racer get to the halfway point on the 12th lap. Heading down the hill, high speed hill, coming hard into a chicane. Really tight turn here. Slightly less tight turn here. You can really clip off the apexes and make this a fast corner. And this one here looks like it's a real tight turn, but it's a wide part of the track, and you can generate a good bit of speed. But you have to be very careful going into this next turn, or else you find yourself off into the runoff area, into the hairpin, onto the front straight with a decent exit. Goes King Racer, and I dare say you might want to get into the pits at this point. And off he goes. Time to get some new shoes on, get a big fat drink. Let's watch it. And let's take a lap with Adam, starting at the first turn, as Johnny Mackers takes over second position. And Dan is now in fourth. Looking to pick up a position, and does on King Racer as he fuels up. So now Dan has gone from the very back up into podium position. Oh, gets a little bit loose. Goes Adam Vine. Tires are running pretty good on the left side there. So right-handers might be a little bit tricky as the weight transfers over to that side. Yeah, it looks like he's getting into slides going that way. Comes that big right-hander at the wide part of the track. Comes up to the tricky left-handers, goes nice and easy around, and then suddenly just tightens up. Does very acute angle all at once. Many of the turns are like that here. You go straight into a corner, or you come out of a corner really straight, and you have to. The wheels have to bite really hard. Shift a little bit late there. So back to Johnny Mackers. 11 seconds to either side, front to rear, and Gianni's going into the pits. That right rear or left rear tire is done. What happened? Oh, you missed the pits. Oh, not good. He's going to have to drive on that miserably worn tire. Oh, Johnny, that's a tough break for you. He's going to have to be really careful getting around this track, because that tire is going to burn off. That was a very costly mistake, at least potentially. But Johnny is having to slow way down. And Dan, of course, is going to catch up very quickly. Wow. Tough break for Johnny as he goes off into the grass. Oh, wow. And it just goes off. That tire is toast. And he's barely at the halfway point. Oh, man. Tough break for Johnny. So let's stay in Johnny's car Let's see how he's able to pick his way through on that chewing gum of a tire. I mean, the thing's melting off at this point. Even the left front is just about done. The left rear is gone. And here you can see Dan gaining on him as Dan picks up a little bit of dirt. Dan has it cleaning his sights. Yeah, it's wide. Doesn't seem super comfortable on the medium tires. Taking wide turns, using all of the track, which, you know, is fair. Nice and tight, clips that exit beautifully, uses the whole track. I don't think he's a bit worried here. He knows that Johnny has to come in. But trying to get some of that slipstream nonetheless. Over he goes. Johnny gets into the pits. I have to say congratulations to Johnny Mackers, because it's amazing that he was able to make it around that track without anything worse happening. So well done, Johnny. Wow. And Justin sitting there in fourth position. Coming into the pits. So he and Johnny both into the pits. Justin's getting off those hard tires. His fuel's gone. King Racer with a full load of fuel. Medium tires. Jumps up to third position. Well, actually, no, he does not. And now he does. Okay, because Johnny's still in the exit lane of the pits. So King drops into third position. King's got good tires, lots of fuel. Johnny's now come out on his hard tire, so he's made... Oh, Johnny didn't get any fuel. He must only want to do one lap. If he got fuel, he got very little fuel, because he doesn't want to stay on the hard tires. He wants to get on some softer compound. His next run, no doubt. So even though he is on hard tires, he had a nice light car, so he doesn't have fuel in it. And he is keeping up with King Racer, who is on the medium tires, which are up to temperature. So he should be getting good grip, even on a cold track. But Johnny is gaining on him. Johnny has the cold hard tires on his out lap, but he's still making a race of it. It'll be interesting to see what his plan is. I'm fairly convinced that his plan is to get around one lap and then get the heck off these hard tires. Because his fuel is just about dissipated. Takes it a little bit wide. Makes it very wide on the exit of that turn. And does not head into the pit, so he's going to do one more lap. Let's see what Rob's doing in the taxi cab. Lots and lots of space in fifth position between himself, Justin, and Johnny. Justin, meanwhile, is on the medium tires on his out lap. Got full load of fuel. Thomas Judicial, who had a pretty nasty off at the beginning, still in second position, is on his soft tires. He's already had one pit stop. And Dan has made his way to the front, as expected. Adam has gone in for hard tires with a full load of fuel, and he's sitting on his out lap. So Johnny has picked up 17 seconds with the pit rotation. Adam's on the hards, Johnny's on the medium, Dan's on the medium. And left front tire's about half gone, as is his fuel. Adam and King now have a 5-second spread between the two of them. King is on the medium tires, as is Adam. Adam's on the hard tires now, so he's using his hard compound at this point. Let's see what Johnny's up to back here. Who valiantly made it around the track on an absolutely disintegrated tire. So as he comes around the final hairpin into the front straight on his hard tires with no fuel. We'll see if he's able to get into the pit cleanly this time. I don't know what happened that got him askew. I think he must have just gone into the red and not realized how far he was supposed to turn in. And Johnny's in, going to get rid of those hard tires, even though they have no wear on them. They're not great for this track. Clearly doesn't favor them. But he has made his hard compound requirement. As we look inside of Rob's car, Rob is clean in fourth position, all by himself. Clips off that corner, gets a decent exit. And this corner here, this is a fun corner. You really don't want to think. You don't want to take any brakes in this corner. You know, you don't want to even tap the brakes in that corner if you can help it. You just want to use all throttle to pick your way through, which he does. Meanwhile, King, it's a 3.5 second gap roughly between himself and Adam. So he's holding his own there, just trying not to let Adam get too far in front of him. Adam now has an 18.5 second gap to Dan, who's once again running away with it on his medium tires. Be interested to see how long Adam wants to stay on those. They don't seem to be the best tires on the cold track. Now Johnny is in the rear. What has happened to Johnny? Oh, of course, pit rotation. So Johnny's in 7th position now as he goes into the pits. Had a really, really long lap 16, so I think it's more than just the pits that got him. It looks like he had a pretty bad off. It's 2:12. That's, I don't know, that's a pretty long time. Maybe he didn't, but boy, 2:12's pretty long. Pretty long time to get around even on a pit lap. There's Adam. Yeah, see 16 for Adam. There's 2:07. 2:12's just a little bit too long to account for just a pit lap. And King's putting down 141s, 142s, putting down really steady and fast laps. Rob putting down 142s, 143s. He is on the medium tires, still got plenty of rubber left, more than half the tank of fuel, so he'll be out for a while. Justin is on mediums. They're just starting to get broken in. 3/4 of the tank of fuel. Timeless Judicial, left front is starting to wear out just a bit. He still has a few laps left in the tank. Johnny on brand new mediums with a full tank of juice. At near the halfway point on the track. Looking pretty good. Gets a little wide on this. I believe that's his preferred line, even though he's out on the marbles. Real tight into the left-hander there. He's a lot of the track. It's a pretty decent exit. Let's watch Dan. We're going to stay inside of Dan's car for a while as he is carving up the field. Even on medium tires, he's still putting down solid 141s. So really only losing about a second if you don't count his fastest lap, which was insane. 139.1 soft tires. Still 2 seconds to the good of his fastest lap on mediums. You're looking at 3 to 4 seconds differential between the softs and the hards. Using every bit of that corner, every bit of the track. Just taking huge bites out of the apexes here. And that is the fast way to go. He has excellent control of this car. He has complained about the Toyota in the past on certain curvy courses, like this one. But since it has a really long straight, I think he's happy. More than just the straight, it takes a lot of control. As you can see, well, you can't see because of the graphic in the way, but he is back on traction control now. I think perhaps because he's on the medium tire and doesn't quite have the grip. But now 20 seconds to the good of Adam on his medium tires. Adam's on hards. So Adam's laps are going from 140s, 141s to 142s. He really hasn't lost that much time, considering the tire that he's on. All right, let's get into external mode and see what we got. We got the exterior view going on. Yes, sir. Here's King Racer Trying to make a king race of it. And his wheels look like a toaster going around that corner. Just 1.5 second gap. Him on the mediums, Viney on the hards. And King is putting down solid lap times. As you can see, he's picking up a second a lap, more or less. Really more. And bringing the race to Adam. Adam's just not exactly struggling on the hard tires, but you don't keep a lot of pace, especially on this cool track. So let's watch these guys go at it for a minute. Now he's trying like crazy to catch up to him in these corners, these tight corners. If he can get a good exit on Adam here using those grippy medium tires and can get a run, he could get in Adam's slip. Yeah, he can get in Adam's slip. But nothing doing. Adam gets a great exit. It keeps ahead far enough where he can't count on any kind of a tow from Adam's car. He gets a good exit, but Adams was just every bit as good. Yeah, being that he's in the Toyota, it gives him the speed advantage on the straight. So Adam did well to keep him behind out of that final hairpin, because that has really spread the track out. That's not to say that King Racer doesn't have a good shot at it at this point, as Adam takes that wide line. King Racer likes to keep it a little bit tighter. Gives it a little tap of the brakes there, but he's giving it gas at the same time. So trying to keep that car stable through the corner, so it can be a handful. Super's a great car, but you gotta watch it in the turns. Just keeping that gap within a second. Trying to stay on his bumper. And Adam gets a little squirrely coming into the hairpin there. King is trying to take an inside line. Picks up a couple of tenths, but because he can't get a good exit, he drops him right back. And King is taking a wide line here, trying to stay right behind Adam. And it sets in his slipstream. You're a little bit off center, but now you're there. And given that this Toyota is so good on the straights, we'll just have to see how close he can get before they get into turn one. He's not going to pass him here. He's trying to make him think he can. Unless he's so brave on the brakes. What is he doing? Oh man, Adam tries to stay with him. He's just not able to. His King, who appears to be staying on the racing line, was able to just nudge ahead. And Adam had to back out because King was well on the inside. Should have been visible in the mirror, but we'll have to see if there's any kind of a complaint at the end of the race. Of course, I can't make any judgment on it. There's no telling what the stewards might say, but for my money, it looked like a really good pass. And Adam's just going to have to be content to stay in his slip and see what he can do. Wow. Yeah, interesting move. King's taking a tight line through the chicanes here. On into the tight right-hander. Trying to get a gap on Adam's Porsche. Adam's Porsche is a much better handling car. The only chance wow, and Adam tries to get the inside of him. Tried to give him the old slipperoo there. Trying to get into King's head. Gets an inside line, can't make it stick. Now what he needs to do is try to stay in the slip here, because King Racer's car is just that much quicker on the straight. And as you can see, he's pulling away, but ever so slightly. Adam is going to do well to not lose more than 2/10. Let's see what happens. Who's braver on the brakes? King goes into first position as Dan gets on his medium tires. So at this moment, through the miracle of the pit cycle, King Racer and Vine are in P1 and P2. Adam is ever so slowly gaining on him in these corners in that wonderful, fine-handled Porsche. King getting on the faster parts of the track, putting it to the floor, trying to take advantage of his superior power. So it's going to be a race of the curves and the straights. Takes it way too tight, gets a whole lot of grass, does King Racer. Goes into the green real deep, not too wide in the exit, not like Adam, who's taking every bit of the track. King is trying to cut his corners off, probably trying to keep the inside closed off for Adam. But Viney is just really, he is not going to let him go. Now let's see if he can stay in his toe. And he does. Obviously, King's going to have an advantage. Got so much horsepower. The thing is wicked in the straights. And brave on the brakes. He and Adam take roughly the same line. Adam getting out just a tad further. King taking a tight line. Wide around the right-hand sweeper as the corner radius narrows up into one of the many hairpins on the track. Several. And Viney is just not going to let him go. He's quick in the corners. King's got a much tougher time. And the race is on for P1. Now within just a half a second, so hit a sweeping left and then it just tightens up out of nowhere. Both cars stay off the track. King takes a slightly tighter line, trying to keep Vine behind him and not give him any kind of a way in. And boy, Vine is just on him. And Viney is in his slip finally, and he's picking up time. This is all going to come down to brakes into the first turn. Vine to the outside, thinks he has a run on him. King pulls away, hard on the brakes. Oh, Vine does the old in-out and pulls away in P1 6,000th of a second and just can't keep it. King's got the inside line. Adam backs out, gets to the outside, trying to do the over-under on him. Takes his preferred outside line through that corner. Backs out a bit. Boy, I tell you, he had it for a while. It's real difficult to get past that Toyota. It has so much power coming out of the corners into the straights, but man, he's doing the best he can, making it a race as he goes wide to the outside. Tied in. Stays right on his wing. Looking for that quick exit so he can do the over-under. Wide to the outside here, into the hairpin. Staying on his bumper, trying to make him think. It's neither one of them wants to touch. Through the hairpin. And King comes out ahead, not by very much. Adam within 2/10, and he's done with his tires. Boy, I tell you what, he got into King's head. And Adam's going to go in for tires and possibly fuel. So this is all on hard tires that Adam was able to do this. I can't stress that enough. He's chasing down that Toyota who was on stickier rubber. All on the hard tires. It just goes to show you what a great handling car that Porsche is as Dan goes into P2. Man, that was quite a battle. All right, so Adam goes in for shoes and juice. Actually, he just goes in for shoes. He forgoes the drink. He comes out on soft tires. Rob tries to get in past him on the exit from the pits. Can't pull it off. And Adam is out on soft tires. Rob is on mediums. I think this is going to be his last stint on the mediums since his fuel's about out. So Rob is just going to let Adam go. Just in the meantime, he is carving through the turns in that Ferrari. Johnny's on the mediums now, more than half a tank of fuel. Thomas Traditional still holding up the back end of the pack. And he has the laps on the medium tires, the 2B and the 142, 143s. Not too shabby. And Johnny's looking to be, he's got some 141s in there on medium rubbers. Johnny's got his right turn signal on, so looks like an old man on the overpass. Just zips through the final series of hairpins before he goes on to the front straight. Car's getting a little squirrely on him. Maybe we'll be coming for tires soon as the front end sort of waves around. Not coming into the pits just yet. He's going to hold on. As Rob goes into the pits, he is done. He wants some fuel. So Adam is out on his soft tires. He's finished his out lap. And working his way up to Dan. Dan's on the hards. Dan's doing 142s on hard rubber. He's got a 141 in there for good measure. Dan's doing fast laps on those slippery hard tires. But you just saw what Adam can do in hard tires, so I can't wait to see what he can do on softs. He can pull down a couple of 139s. He's going to make a race. Now, the soft tires are only going to last maybe 8 laps unless he's able to nurture them along and get them through 9 laps, 9 more laps. It doesn't seem likely to me, but Adam has technique. He was able to get some of those tires to last a long time, and certainly fuel. Don't see him having a problem with that as he picks up 2 more seconds on Dan. Dan coming around the final hairpin into the front straight. And the Toyota is wicked fast on the straights, but he didn't get a great exit. Still on the hard tires, looks like he's just sort of picking his way through the corners. It puts out a 143.8, which is a couple seconds more than Adam was able to. And Adam drops a 139, so he is on a tear. This is what Adam has needed to do the whole race. He needs to start dropping great times on soft tires. And sneaks away another second from Dan. Really almost a second and a half. So King still out in front by near 11 seconds, but he is slowing down as his medium tires go off and his fuel is almost exhausted. He's put down some good laps on those racing mediums. He is in the pit lane and going in for service. Dan is now going to take the lead on the pit cycle, get right back into first position on this very long track. The pit cycle is somewhere in the mid 20 seconds, I believe. So now he and Adam vying for P1. Dan's in P1. No vying needed. But Dan is also on the hard tires and also has a car that doesn't handle as well through the corners as Adam's does. So once again, an interesting matchup between Toyota and Porsche. As Adam zips around that big sweeper. Doesn't take it as wide as he usually does. Perhaps because he's on the softer tires, he's got a whole lot more lateral adhesion. And maybe he's just getting used to that. When he was on the hard tires, he was taking a very wide line, but using every inch of the track. As we come through the chicane, both drivers do just fine getting through. Nobody gets off, nobody takes too much of a bite inside. As Dan comes through that tricky left-hander, every inch of the track. Adam clips the apexes. Wide line going out. And takes a looser line through the tight right-hander. Actually didn't cost him any time. He got a really good exit. Oh, wow. Not bad at all. But, as you can see, Dan is not going to lose anything to him. Where we're going to see Adam pick up time is going to be in curves. And boy, is he ever doing it now. He has picked up 5 seconds in 2 laps. 2.5, really. Those soft tires aren't going to last forever. If he's going to make up time, it will have to be in the next 3 or 4 laps. But Dan has made his tire requirement. Adam has made his tire requirement. Dan is going to have to finish this race on hard tires if Adam is able to stay out. I don't think he can, but now that I look at how his tires are wearing, I think it's a possibility. Picks up another second. Beyond the halfway point as we get into the chicane, Adam has picked up yet another second. Dan, not even to the start-finish line. Just dropping tenths of seconds every time he goes around a corner. 10th here, 10th there. He is scorching the curves. Man. Dan gets around the final turn into the front straight, and this is where Dan's going to pick up a little bit of time. Adam gets around that curve. Good exit. Not a great exit, but a good exit. Dan gets, for what he's driving on, a great exit, given that he's on the hard rubber. And starts to pull back some of those tenths. But now we get into the curvy part of the track. And this is, for fear of being redundant, where the rubber meets the road. As Dan's about to lose his 2-second lead, Adam drops to inside of 2 seconds and just knocking tenths off into those corners. Just bing, bang, boom. Apologies to the other drivers, but the race up front is just so good. As Adam tries to nurse those soft tires along, and Dan's doing everything he can to make the hard tires work. And we are getting inside of a second. Here comes the chicane at the bottom of the hill. Dan gets on the brakes as late as he possibly can. Adam clipping those apexes, getting wide in the corners. And just getting right up on Dan's keister within a half of a second and closing into the final hairpin onto the front straight. Adam looking for a way around the outside, going for the over-under, takes the inside, gets on his side. And Adam he can't quite stretch it into a lead, or can he? 13 thousandths of a second, they're neck and neck. And Dan, with his superior power on the straights, stays in the lead, cuts off the inside part of the track just to keep Adam at bay. 18 thousandths of a second separate them. Hard on the brakes for both as Adam gets the inside on Dan, and Dan is now on the outside looking in. Here comes Adam coming into the fast left-hander. Dan's got the inside line but backs out wisely so as not to ruin both their races, and Adam is clearly in the lead. But what did that battle do to Adam's tires? Let's find out. Is he going to be able to nurse those along and get himself to the end of the race? If you look at the left front tire in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see his left front tire is more than halfway gone. We've got 5 laps left in this race. It's a tall order to get 10 laps out of these tires, and he will be on lap 11 when we finish this race. Through the chicane at the bottom of the hill with a 1.5 second lead on Dan. And Adam is not holding back. Dan has turned off. No, he's back on his traction control again. I thought he had turned it off momentarily. Looks like he put it back on. But Adam Vine is just running away right now. Somehow. I mean, I understand, he's on soft rubber and he's chasing the car on hard rubber. But man, as far down as those tires have worn, I don't see him being able to continue like this. And yet, he continues to make progress. He continues to increase the gap. With 4 laps to go, and a 2.3 second lead to Dan East. It's really kind of wondrous. So we got King Racer in P3, 20 plus seconds to the good on either end of his car. Justin with 20 seconds gap himself and King. We got 2.5 seconds on Johnny Mackers. Johnny Mackers with 11 on Rob. Rob clean into 6th position ahead of Timeless Judicial. Holding up P7 about 1:06 behind, so nobody's going to get lapped unless something terrible happens, which is nice. Everybody thinks you will be lapped. As we have just a little over 3 laps to go. Here comes Adam through the chicane. Dan just making every possible effort to squeeze through and get as much time out of those corners as he can. But Adam is just too good in the turns. Dan gets a little bit short of the end of that turn. Takes a tight apex, goes nice and wide into the last turn, last hairpin. And Vine's lead continues to grow as he is more than 3.5 seconds to the good on those soft tires. But can he make it 3 laps? You got 34, 35, and 36 to do, Adam. What are you going to do? How are you going to keep that lead? And Dan knocks a couple of tenths off in the straightaway. So Adam's advantage in the corners has been huge. But that advantage is going to disappear. It's going to disappear on this next series of laps. And I predict all he's going to be able to do is just keep it on track and stay as far ahead as he possibly can so as not to get Dan in his slipstream on the last lap. Looks like Dan is having a little bit of a struggle coming through those corners here. Let's see what Dan can do into the chicane. And picks up a little bit of time here. Looks like Adam is now having to nurse that car through the corners. So this is where the race is going to be won or lost. But it's hard to call getting P2 a loss. Is he going to be able to get to victory lane as we get into the final turn? And Adam has picked up a 4-second lead, but Dan now on the front straight is chopping into it just a touch. As we see Dan just knocking the thousandths off. Adam coming in to turn 1. Tight right-hander. Gets all the apex, just bites hard into that corner, goes nice and wide, just trying to keep those tires from going off too quickly. So he's going to use every bit of this track to get a good exit, but to keep the car straight so as not to chew up the remaining rubber that he's on. As we jump to the back here a little bit, let's take a look and see what our other drivers are up to. Still a big gap between Judicial and Splatter. Splatter's got 15 seconds to go on Johnny. Johnny's 6 seconds to go on Justin. Justin's got 14 plus on King. And King's got about 30 seconds behind Dan. So here comes Dan now 4 seconds behind as he gets into the chicane. Hard on the brakes, feathers him through that tight turn. Coming around the right-hander, coming into the sweeper, to that ever-tightening left-hander. Goes real wide, does not like those hard tires on the Toyota at all. And Adam's gap is growing, nearing 5 seconds. Dan's only hope is to get him on the straights and hope that Adam's tires fall completely off. But look at Adam, he's got a little bit of rubber left. As we go to the final lap, Adam with a commanding 5-second lead, but now he's got to nurse those tires for another minute, more than a minute and a half, to try to not let Dan get those 5 seconds back. And considering how much tire wear Adam has, if he has an off, it could be curtains for his win. Adam, though, is taking those corners as wide as he can, trying to keep the car as straight as possible, not overcooking him into the turns, keeping a significant gap on Dan, who still just struggles on those hard tires. And it looks like Adam not only is nursing his tires along, but he's also nursing his fuel. The Porsche has been great on fuel economy, which has been a big advantage. And we are coming up to the final set of corners, to the last tight left-hander before the front straight, and Dan is nowhere near Adam. Adam is now on a dead front left tire. So if he makes it through this tight turn, this is Adam's race. And it is. Oh no, he gets a little loose. What's going on? No, he's just having fun with us. Adam is just fine. He's going to give us a little dance to the finish line. Adam is very proud of himself, and rightly so. That was a brilliant, brilliant race on Adam's part. And here comes Dan in P2, not too shabby. Somehow made it through on his racing hard tires. As we watch King Racer come around the last set of corners. Gets into the final hairpin, up the hill. Takes a tight end, wide out. Gives it the beans. And on a light load of fuel, King Racer comes in. A solid P3. Congratulations to our top 3 finishers. And Justin's going to come in at a very respectable P4 in the Ferrari. I'd love to see a flash of the lights. Nothing doing. Johnny Mackers in 5th. And Rob picked up a fare and is making it around the last corner with him and a couple of passengers, lots of luggage in the trunk. Sorry, the boot. And onto the start-finish line, onto P6. Timeless Judicial right behind him in P7. And that's your race, folks. Adam Vine with a brilliant finish. Oh my goodness, I don't know how he pulled that off with those tires. They were knackered. But pulls it off from pole position and a clean race and a win. Nails the trifecta on what amounts to chewing gum. Congratulations, Adam. What a great race. Folks, I really appreciate you sticking with us through the live stream. Sorry about the beginning, going kind of amiss. But we did get a little bit of qualifying in, so I guess I should be grateful for that. Folks, everybody take care. It has been a wonderful evening of racing. I hope the rest of your week is solid. Have a great weekend. Until then, the folks here at Multi-21 want to wish you well. Have a great evening.